Hey everyone, it's me, Chad, and welcome back to Mr. Chad's Weird World. It's been a while since I was on here doing anything. It's been a while since I posted a short, a normal video, or anything. But anyways, here I am, I'm back. One of the things I've been wanting to do on here, when time came around for it, was to review books that I've read. Now, I used to read a lot more. When you grow up, you have a family, you get a job, all that stuff. I wish I could say I had more time to read, but I don't. I did just finish a book today. And I finished one by the same author a while ago. I'll talk about that one briefly, but mostly about the one I finished today. So the one I finished today is called Influencer by Adam Cesare. I think I'm pronouncing his name right. I'm hoping I'm pronouncing his name right. Let's go for an extreme close-up here so you can see his name. Adam Cesare. He does have a YouTube channel where he talks about his own stuff. And he reviews other movies, horror books, things of that nature. This is the second book I've read of his. The first book I read of his, I'm going to talk about this one really briefly, and then I'll move to that one. But I want to talk about this one. This is the first book of his I read, Clown in a Cornfield. Now, he has three of these. He has Clown in a Cornfield, Clown in a Cornfield 2, and I can't remember. There's more to the title. And then Clown in a Cornfield 3, which is called, I believe that one's Church of Friendo is what it's called. There's Clown in a Cornfield. It was a pretty good book. I enjoyed that one. His books are very much, a slasher film on paper, right? Like, if you enjoy, Scream, if you enjoy, the Halloween movies, Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, things of that nature, then you might enjoy his books, especially if you enjoy reading or have time to do so. But yeah, Clown in the Cornfield, good one. It's got 2 sequels. I believe he said he's making a third one, Clown in the Cornfield 4. On top of that, Clown in the Cornfield on the big screen is coming our way. May 9th, the movie version of Clown in the Cornfield is coming out. It will be in theaters. I want to say it might be on an app as well, but I can't remember for sure. It looks like a good one. It looks like, again, if you're into that kind of stuff. If you're not, then, life goes on. But it looks like a good movie. It looks like a fun movie of the slasher origin. And anyways, it looks like a lot of fun. I can't wait to see it. I have a feeling I'll have to wait for video. Life goes on. But when I do watch it, you can be assured I'll talk about it a little bit here. But anyways, Influencer, the one I finished today, is a good one. It was a bit of a slow burn. It was a little slower. I did prefer Clown in the Cornfield. This one was a bit of a slow burn. They really do a build up to, kind of a final scene. I can very much see Influencer, being a movie. I mean, if Clown in the Cornfield works out for Adam Cesare and he, is able to, have more of his books, optioned and made into movies or TV shows even, that would be great. Because Clown in the Cornfield, like I say, it's kind of, or not Clown in the Cornfield, Influencer. It's about 350 pages long. It's a bit of a slow burn. The opening scene gives you something. It's almost reminiscent of the original Scream movie in some regards. And then the whole rest of the book, it changes locations. I know the first Scream movie doesn't change locations per se, but the scene is similar in some regards. It kind of kicks off everything. And then, anyways, as soon as the first chapter, the first scene in this book takes place, the rest of it goes off into a different locale, and you kind of see it's kind of building up to kind of in some ways see history repeat itself. But does it? I mean, I'm not going to give a lot of spoilers. I hate having things spoiled when I want to read them, when I want to find out what it is. But so you can see the name, Influencer, on the cover of the book here. It's a cell phone. I think a lot of us probably know what an influencer is. Somebody who maybe somebody who posts videos on social media. Could be Facebook, not as much Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, things of that nature. Your influencers can be very different, right? As far as what they do, what they're trying to spread. As I said a long time ago, the first person to get me into wanting to do YouTube videos was that Nate guy on YouTube. You could say, I guess you could use the term influencer with him to a certain extent, but he's not an influencer like this guy, in any way, shape, or form. This book is about a high school student who becomes an influencer, learns that he can use it as a means of control and takes that to his advantage in a pretty horrific way. Again, he's a high school student. I mean, I went to high school. I know people have a negative view of high school. Looking back on it, people didn't necessarily like high school. I was never one of those people who had an issue with it so much. I wasn't necessarily Mr. Popularity, but yeah, I mean, hearing things like this or seeing things like this is kind of weird sometimes. But it's a good read. Like I say, it builds up to a final scene, and I can kind of, envision in my head what this would look like, right? I mean, I know some people don't like to see movies based on books necessarily because they have this idea in their head of what it should look like, and then it gets put somewhere else and it looks totally different. But when I read this book, all the way throughout it up to the final scene, and the final scene, I could envision very well in my head what I think it should look like, what was going on, what was happening, what is happening, and all that stuff. And then there was a little wrap up at the end, and I could, I could very much see what's going on. This book, like I said, all of his books are horror. This one very much deals with, serial killers and cults. And he does a pretty good job with it. I was impressed. It took me a little bit longer to get into Influencer. Like I said, it's a bit of a slow burn, but it also took a little bit longer to grab me. But I always wanted to find out what happened next. And I'm glad I stuck with it. I mean, I'm usually not one to set books down, but I'm glad I stuck with it. And I found out what happened. Again, there's an opening scene. The main part, the locations move. The main character goes from Arizona to New York, goes to a different school, kind of tries to recreate his own history. And I don't want to say if he does or doesn't, right? But that's for you to read and find out, because that's what we want to do. We want to find out on our own. If you want me to tell you, let me know, and I'll make a video on the side and tell you what happens. But I don't think anybody wants to know. So, again, thank you for watching. I'd like to make more videos. I just haven't had time. I'll make videos of a lot of the books I read and tell you about them, tell you what I think. Again, Influencer, Adam Cesare, really cool book. More young adult than adult, but and it's definitely got some difficult things he talks about, but so make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into. Clown in a Cornfield, also by Adam Cesare, coming out in movie theaters May 9th. He's got 2 sequels to this as well. Hey, if that first movie does well, maybe we'll see more of them. All right, well, I will try and come back sooner than later this time. Hope everyone's having a good time. 2025 is treating you well, and I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.